Let me talk a little bit about warrants before we go forward in the inspection process. The city's ability to to seek a warrant from a magistrate is actually authorized under the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, which states a search warrant may be issued for the purpose of allowing an inspection on any premise to determine the presence of a fire or health hazard, an unsafe building condition, or any violation of a fire, health, building regulation, statute, and ordinance. So, how do we go about achieving that? So if an enforcement official feels that there is a situation that warrants conducting an inspection via warrant, if a tenant does not consent, he or she can, if they feel that they have that probable cause to believe that there does exist a violation of the Code of Ordinances, we can request from a magistrate a warrant. What we have to do, our burden of proof is to show that there's probable cause for that warrant. Now, this is a pretty widely accepted definition here of what probable cause is. This is extremely important to our process and what we demonstrate before a magistrate when we try to do this. So probable cause is defined as a reasonable amount of suspicion supported by circumstances sufficiently strong to justify a prudent and cautious person's belief that certain facts are probably true. That's a really widely accepted definition of probable cause. It doesn't mean for an administrative search warrant. It doesn't mean just for code enforcement. That's for any standard. When you go before a magistrate, that's what you're trying to demonstrate. As I mentioned, an administrative search warrant must be reviewed and approved by a magistrate, and it's the magistrate that determines if we've met our obligation to show and to demonstrate that there is that probable cause. Once we turn that in, we have no interaction in terms of the review process. So what does that judge look for? Well, there are a couple of things. One is specified knowledge of someone creating and taking part in that affidavit. So that could be a public official, or it could be a next-door neighbor who has seen some activity over and over and over again, and we've utilized that person's affidavit in conjunction with our observations to obtain that warrant. Age and general condition of the premises. So that could be something that is extremely old, for instance, and that there was a certain type of wiring, perhaps, that was used in the buildings of that age. Reason to believe that that wiring, which could or could not be a potential hazard, is installed in that home. So that's how the age could come into play. Previous violations or hazards that were found. So if we've been in a situation before where we found, for instance, hazardous materials being stored in a residential district, that may be, in conjunction with other things, enough to obtain a warrant to go onto the property and confirm whether that condition is present again. The type of premise. So if there is if there's a use that could be potentially occurring that is very different than the premise would provide for, that could be enough. Again, the purpose for which the premises are used. And then finally, the presence of hazards or violations on adjacent properties. So if there is a situation where you have two homes and two properties and they're relatively similar in a lot of ways, and one has something that's illegal taking place, under certain circumstances that could be enough. So it's not just what's going on in that property, it's what's going on properties in the immediate adjacent area as well. And these are the kind of things that all magistrates look for on all warrant requests, regardless of the specific topic at hand.